What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Season 9, Episode 17. Oh my God, it's a girl. Let's get started with Jasmine. So, when we see Jasmine, her and Matt are going to a birthing class, and Matt tells us it is still not real to him that he's about to have a child. It hasn't really sunken in yet, even though the baby's going to be here in a few weeks and they're taking a birthing class. It really hasn't sunk in yet. So they go through whatever with the birthing class. Um, I felt like this scene was just to talk about dirty things. I don't know. I felt like this scene was just there for them to have an excuse to talk about how Matt is going to have to massage her vaginal muscles to stretch her out. They wanted a scene, I think, with Matt holding the anatomical model of the female anatomy. This is basically all this scene was for. And I'm like, who is producing this show? Is it like a couple of 12-year-old boys producing this show that think this is really funny to talk about, Matt having to stretch out her vaginal muscles and this anatomically correct female model? Like, what are we doing? I felt it was really unnecessary and just kind of on the immature side. But that's how 90 Day Fiance producers, that's how they roll. So moving on from there, after the class was over, Jasmine and Matt are sitting there in the class after everybody has left, and he's putting on her shoes. And she's talking about what they went through in class, like how is he going to pass the baby over to her once she gives birth, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Matt starts cracking jokes because that's how he deals, I guess, with the unknown, or that's how he deals with stress and anxiety. He starts cracking jokes, and Jasmine gets mad at him. And she's like, Matt, this is serious. I don't know why you're always joking around. This is a serious situation. And then she scolds him, right? She scolds him. She's like, you got to take this seriously. And I'm just like, Jasmine, relax. Obviously, Matt is nervous about this. He has anxiety about this. And this is how he copes with it. It's not like he's not taking it seriously. But then again, Jasmine, you wanted to be with a much, much, much younger guy. And this is what it is. Matt says that she doesn't acknowledge all the efforts that he has made and how he has really been involved with her pregnancy and all of that. And but he does admit that he has to step it up. And then Jasmine starts talking about how she feels like she's all alone in this. And I'm thinking to myself, Jasmine, you are the forever victim. You're always victimizing yourself. You're not alone. I haven't seen anything that they've shown us on the show. Now, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I haven't seen anything that they've shown us to make it look like Matt is disinterested or Matt isn't involved with this pregnancy. I don't know where she's coming from when she says that she feels like she's all alone in this. Moving on from there, the next time that we see Jasmine and Matt, they woke up, I guess, in the middle of the night because Jasmine was having contractions. And so they rushed to the birthing center. And Matt tells us that he would have preferred going to a hospital just in case anything happens. But Jasmine probably just didn't want any kind of hospital intervention at all. She wants to do this completely 100% natural. So they're going to be going to a birthing center and she's going to be giving birth with the assistance of a doula. So Matt tells us that he feels okay. So we're at the birthing center and the labor has begun. Jasmine is in the tub. The contractions are strong as hell. She is experiencing a lot of pain, and Matt tells us how he feels really powerless in this situation because he can't do anything to ease her pain. Soon after that, baby Matilda is born with no complications, a perfectly healthy baby, beautiful child. Jasmine did really well for an unassisted birth, as in no hospital intervention, no anesthesia. She was a trooper. She did that. Okay, she did that. And they named the baby Matilda. And the producers asked Jasmine, why did you name her Matilda? And she said, well, it really came from a joke because that's what she would call Matt. She would call him Matilda. Now, she didn't tell us why she would call him Matilda. So I have to connect the dots on my own. And my assumption is she used to call Matt, or she calls Matt Matilda when they're arguing, when he's pissing her off. and she wants to emasculate him. I think that's when she calls him Matilda. So I think it's really bizarre that she would name her child after like a jokey joke. Matt instantly falls in love with his daughter, as we all knew that he would. So all the hoopla that Jasmine did about how he's never going to accept a girl child and he's going to be just like her father and reject his own child because she was born female, all of that stuff was unnecessary, overly dramatic, and just for the show. Because obviously we knew that Matt was going to fall head over heels in love with his daughter. Moving on from Jasmine, let's talk about Gino. So Gino goes to see his divorce attorney. This is the same attorney that helped him with his previous divorce 12 years earlier when he was divorcing his first wife. So Gino tells the lawyer that this divorce won't be as easy as the first one because Jasmine is nothing like his first wife. His first divorce, he said, was easy peasy. They were together for 7 years, and then they just grew apart, and then they filed for divorce. I would love to hear her side of the story of why her and Gino divorced, but I don't know. We probably will never know. But I think there's more to it than just, oh, we grew apart. Anyway, so he tells his lawyer Jasmine is completely different from his first wife. He says that Jasmine has the demon or the devil inside of her, and he starts giving the attorney the history. He says that him and Jasmine have been married for 2 years, but they only physically lived together for 10 months. And this is because he says Jasmine had moved out to move in with her boyfriend. And so then he starts explaining the whole open marriage thing. He said that him and Jasmine were in agreement to have an open marriage, and but there were rules to this. So the rules were she could only spend 2 hours with her boy toy. I don't know if he meant 2 hours a day, 2 hours a week, or what, but he said she could only spend 2 hours with them. And the other rule was she was not supposed to become emotionally attached or emotionally involved or to fall in love with this boyfriend. Well, according to Gino, she broke all the rules. She was spending more time with him, and she ended up becoming emotionally attached to him. Um, that's why she ended up moving out. He says she moved out. I thought Jasmine had said that Gino locked her out and she had no choice but to go live with Matt. Who the hell knows what happened because the cameras were not rolling for us to witness with our own eyes. Who the hell knows? I have a feeling that because she was spending a lot of time with Matt, more than the allotted 2 hours, he locked her out. That's what I'm thinking. He's like, well, if you're going to be with him all damn day, you might as well just be with him. And I think he probably locked the door on her or changed the locks on her. That's my presumption, but I don't know what happened because there were no cameras filming at that time when this was going on. So he says that she broke the rules, and so now she's living with this other dude. And so what's funny to me is that he said that Jasmine, because he wants to prove that Jasmine committed fraud, and he says that Jasmine cheated on him. But then he says we agreed to an open marriage. So it's kind of like he's contradicting himself. Did you agree to an open marriage, or was this woman cheating on you? Or was she cheating on you because she wasn't playing by the rules and automatically he saw that as cheating because she was spending more than 2 hours with Matt and became emotionally attached to him. And so now he considers it cheating. This whole open marriage thing, y'all, if it's, I don't know how people do it. And I know that people do this a lot, polyamory and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, how? How do you do that? And I know like there have been people in my comments who have said that they are in an open marriage or that they have practiced polyamory relationships. I, I just don't know how. And I know it can be done, and I know it can be done in a very consensual and healthy way where nobody's feelings get hurt. And it is natural because someone told me in my comments it's very, very natural. Not in the comments of this show, but when I used to review the other show with the two couples that were in a whatever, what was that show? Whatever that show was called. Someone had said that there is going to be jealousy. It's very natural, it's very normal to have feelings of jealousy, but they can also be very healthy relationships as well. But I guess I don't know what went wrong with Jasmine and Gino. I don't know. I felt like Gino really, his heart really wasn't into it. And I still don't understand how in the world her sleeping with another man, a younger, better looking guy, was going to help Jasmine and Gino's relationship. Like, I'm still confused about how that was going to help their relationship. It seems like Jasmine was going to get the best of both worlds, and Gino was going to get nothing. She was going to have the physical intimacy with Matt, the emotions with Matt, and then being taken care of by Gino. And then, like, what does Gino get out of this? But anyway, let's move on. Okay, so he accuses her of cheating, but then he talks about how they were, like voluntarily or consensually in an open marriage, and I don't. Okay, and little side note that I wanted to mention real quick. As much as I can see Matt falling for Jasmine and having feelings for Jasmine, y'all, I don't think Jasmine feels the same way about Matt. Like, I just don't see the chemistry between them. I really don't. But I can see that Matt is into Jasmine. I can see that Matt really wants to be with Jasmine. But I don't think that Jasmine, I feel like with Jasmine, she's just going through the motions. Like, he was a hot gym guy that she was attracted to. I don't think that she anticipated being like in a full blown relationship with him. And the only reason why they are as deep as they are in this relationship is because of the fact that she got pregnant, maybe. I don't know. I don't see it. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe everybody else sees the love that Jasmine has for Matt. I don't really see it as a two-way street. The love between them is not a two-way street to me. I see Matt into her a whole lot more than she's into him. That's just how I see it. Gino tells the attorney that he did report Jasmine to immigration for marriage fraud. Gino says that he wants her deported and he wants her to hurt the way she hurt him. Even the lawyer was like, that's not a good idea. He didn't actually say it at that moment, but at another moment, the lawyer was like, yeah, it seems like Gino is trying to use the courts to exact revenge on Jasmine. And it's just going to end up costing him a whole lot of money if that's what his purpose is. Because it's going to be drawn out and dragged out because he will never be satisfied. Gino will never be satisfied with what he thinks is happening to Jasmine. He will never get, because Jasmine is too busy with her new relationship, her new baby. The only thing she wants is to be able to stay here legally and to get what she believes is rightfully hers, which is the money that TLC paid them, that Gino refuses to hand over to her portion. So Gina will never get that satisfaction. There will never be a time where Gina was like, yes, I got back at her. I got my revenge on her. Now I'm 100% satisfied. He will always be chasing that revenge and he will never get it. And so it's going to cost him a lot of money and a lot of misery if he thinks this way. And someone just needs to tell Gino, just let it go. The best revenge, I don't want to sound like Beyonce, the best revenge is your paper. No, the best revenge is you just living a happy, successful life and not giving her a second thought. Get this divorce, get rid of her, whatever the courts order you to give her, give it to her and just move on. That's probably going to be the best revenge. But Jasmine's still not going to give a damn. So Jasmine got pregnant within the 2-year probationary period. Now, this is where it got really technical, it got really legal, and I was having a hard time keeping up and understanding. He said that Jasmine got pregnant within the 2-year probationary period. I don't know what this probationary period is in the immigration process. Like, so what does this mean? Like, what is supposed to occur within the probationary period? Like, you can't have affairs, you can't cheat, you can't have outside babies, you can't not live together. Like, what is going on within this 2-year probationary period that she supposedly violated? But he says she got pregnant within the 2-year probationary period. They talk about how Gino is the presumed father. And so the lawyer explains to him what that's all about, because the child was born within the marriage, the child is legally yours, and you are legally and financially going to be responsible for this child until the child turns 18. And so Gino, like, damn near has a heart attack. He's like, what? Oh my God. And so, but it is a rebuttable presumption. It doesn't mean that that is what it is. It's a presumption that, yes, any child born within the marriage is considered to be the child of the husband, but it's a rebuttable presumption. So you either get a DNA test and you follow that up with an order that says that you're not the father, some other dude is the father, then you don't have to worry about this kid. Moving on from there. So the lawyer says that Matt can sign like an affidavit of paternity claiming that or attesting that he is the father of the child. But the lawyer tells Gino that you have 3 years to do this. Okay, otherwise you're stuck like Chuck. You have 3 years to do this. The lawyer says because there's a child involved, the divorce is going to take a whole lot longer. If it was just between Jasmine and Gino and no other person and no babies or anything, the divorce could have happened within 6 months. But because there's a child involved, it's going to be dragged out a whole lot longer. Gino also wants to wait until, so he doesn't want to file for divorce until the stock market goes down, to have the least, so that he can have the least financial impact on his finances. So basically what I interpreted as that meaning is that he wants the stock market to go down so he doesn't have a lot, it doesn't look like he has a lot in his portfolio, so that Jasmine doesn't get a lot from him when it comes to the division of marital assets. So he wants to wait for that. Who, like, and I'm like, what? Whatever. So that's what he says. He says he wants to wait until the stock market goes down so he can have the least financial impact on him. He also wants to make sure, because he wants to make sure that Jasmine gets as little as possible. And a quick divorce will allow Jasmine to get her 10-year permanency card even quicker. Because he says that the only way for Jasmine to get, and this is the part where it got really muddy and confusing for me. He says that for Jasmine to get her permanency card, I think, um, either he has to, if they're married, he has to, like, they both have to sign for it. Or the other way that she can get it is if they get a divorce and then she can try to get it on her own as a divorced woman. So allowing to have a quick divorce or a fast divorce will allow her to apply for her permanency, her 10-year permanency a lot quicker. And he doesn't want that because he wants her deported. So the longer they stay married, then the longer it's going to take for her to get her permanency because he's not going to sign for it. So she'll have to wait until the divorce is final. And he wants to drag out the divorce as long as possible. That's what I gathered. I could be wrong. Gina, let it go. You're just causing yourself unnecessary stress. Just let it go. Let the woman stay in here, stay within the country. Don't worry about the whole immigration, the fraud, the deportation. Just cut ties and start your life fresh and new without Jasmine. The lawyer tells him because of the child, you don't have the luxury to drag this on as long as possible. Okay, because you're going to be stuck being responsible for this child if you don't put some pep in your step and get this divorce filed. So then Gino's like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Then there's the whole issue of whoever files first, the divorce hearings will take place in that state. So that the lawyer tells them another incentive for you to hurry up and file is because if you file first in Michigan, then the hearings will take place here in Michigan. And you don't have to worry about traveling to Florida. That's another reason why he needs to hurry up with this divorce. Now, in real time, I just read on TMZ that Jasmine has just filed for divorce in Florida. Gino has already filed in Michigan, and Jasmine has now filed in Florida. I don't know why, but she has. Maybe to try to get it moved to Florida. I don't know. Um, so this is going to be not interesting because I really don't care, but it is what it is. So I'm just trying to get to the end of all of this to figure out, okay, who's going to get what? Are they going to be successful in proving that? Or are they going to be successful in getting Gino off the hook of taking care of Jasmine and Matt's child? And is Jasmine going to be able to get what she believes she's entitled to get? That's really all I'm concerned about. The child part is probably going to be the easiest part of all. That's easy because they can just do a DNA test and then the court will probably order them to do the affidavit or to sign whatever legal documents that's going to establish Matt as the legal father of the child. The whole issue is going to be, is Jasmine going to get the money that she wants out of this? Moving on to Brandon and Julia. So, no, I'm sorry, not Brandon and Julia. I'm out of order. Moving on to, yeah, Brandon, no, not Brandon and Julia. Moving on to Darcey and Georgie. I want to talk about Darcey and Georgie first. So it starts off with Darcey. She's in her hotel room. Remember the night before Georgie left. He didn't spend the night with her because they got into an argument. So Georgie ended up leaving the night before. And so the next day, Stacy comes into Darcey's room and Stacy talks about how she and Florian had a wild and crazy night and they were doing all kind of crazy positions. And I'm just like, yeah, right. if it really went down like that, you wouldn't be talking about it. Like, come on. And like, why would you even? Okay, so let's say it did. Why are you even talking about this, knowing that your sister, your twin sister, is going through her own marital problems, and here you are bragging about how you and your husband had a great night, which I highly, highly doubt it went down like that. Because truth be told, when I saw Stacy and Florian on the last resort, Florian is not interested in Darcey. He has no interest in not Darcey. He has no interest in Stacy. Florian is not interested in Stacy. From what I could see on the last resort, and even from what I've seen so far right now on Happily Ever After, Florian has no interest in Stacy. So Darcey says that her night with Georgie did not go as well as she expected. She talked about how they got into an argument and Georgie ended up leaving. As they're talking, she gets a message, or she gets a text message from Georgie. And he's responding to a message that she sent to him earlier, where she asked him, is he going to be coming back into the room? And I don't know how much time later, but it seems like he really took his time responding. He responds back to Darcey and says, is it because you really want me to come back, or are you just acting like you care? So then she shows her sister this text message, and Stacy's like, "Oh, there's something going on with Georgie. He's got something going on." And Stacy tells Darcey that she deserves a better husband. She doesn't have to go through this. Darcey then lets out this animalistic scream and falls into Stacy's arms. And then Stacy starts holding her and rocking her and telling her, "I got you. I got you." Like really loud like that. I don't know what kind of twin moment we were witnessing here, but it scared the hell out of me. Okay. Because I was like making my notes, and then I heard this crazy animalistic scream, and I looked up on my TV. I was like, what the hell is going on? And Darcey's having a complete meltdown in her sister's arms. Darcey says that she doesn't know what else to do to fix this marriage. And I'm pretty sure these marital problems that her and Georgia are having are just the foundation or the setup for them to be on the last resort. Later on, Georgie and Darcey meet up at the bar, at the hotel bar. And Georgie says that he has a lot that he needs to talk about with Darcey. So when they get to the bar, they're sitting there, and automatically Darcey just starts um, taking over the conversation. This was Georgie's meeting. He's the one that reached out to her and wanted to talk to her, but she couldn't even let him speak. Okay, he could barely get out a couple of words, and then she just commandeers the whole conversation. And so when she finally shuts up her soup coolers, he finally can get out what he needs to say. And he starts off by saying that, when they went to Bulgaria and he saw his sister with her kids and everything, um, it made him feel some kind of way, like, he's been wanting to have a family, and basically like he's been thinking about having kids. And Darcey's like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew this is where this was going. I knew it. And that's where their segment ended. And we shall see more next week. Like I said, this is all a big setup to me of them appearing on The Last Resort. I can't figure these people out. I can't figure out Darcey and Georgie. I can't figure out what's real, what's not real, what's just for play, what's just for the show. I can't figure it out. I don't know if this man really wants kids. Because like I said, these people are on TikTok Live together, battling on TikTok Live. I keep on saying that because I'm not understanding. Like on Sunday, I'm watching them having these arguments and not getting along. And then I go on my phone and I'm just scrolling because I'm not following either one of these people on TikTok. I'm just, scrolling through, and then I see a live, and it's Darcey and Georgie battling for galaxies. So I don't know what's going on with these people, but whatever it is, I'm pretty sure that whatever they're doing is just for entertainment purposes and just for them to be on TV for as long as TLC will allow them. Moving on to Brandon and Julia. So they're jet setting through Europe. We see a montage of them hitting all the countries in Europe: Italy, Sweden, England, Germany. They went through it all. They were in 9 countries in 1 month. So they had to return early because they couldn't afford the trip anymore, because Julia could not sell her apartment in Russia. So they couldn't get the money from that, and they had to come back early. Whatever. Brandon and Julia, that's another couple that I feel like there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in their stories as well, in their segment. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors because It's like it didn't make any sense for them to jet set to Europe, him to quit his job, jet set to Europe before they even got the money from the apartment. It made no sense. And I don't agree with his parents too much, but when they said, well, why don't you sell the apartment first and then go to Europe? That made sense to me. I don't know why they didn't do that, but they claimed they couldn't afford to stay there any longer, so they came back early. So the next thing we know, Julia is showing Brandon a positive pregnancy test, and she ended up getting pregnant naturally without having to have surgery. And she tells us that she was so scared of having the surgery that she went and got a third opinion. And the third doctor, I guess, told her to change her diet and to start counting her ovulation, or start tracking her ovulation. And so that's what she did, ended up getting pregnant, which then made me wonder, did she even really have a medical issue to begin with? Or was that just for the show, for them to have a plot line? Because something else was going on with these people. I don't know. Everything is smoke and mirrors. I understand that reality TV is fake, so I don't need anybody to tell me, oh, reality TV is scripted. It's all fake. Yes, I get it. I understand. I totally understand. So she changed her diet, whatever, started counting her ovulation or tracking her ovulation. She ends up getting pregnant. And then we see them going to the doctor, her new doctor, I guess, I don't know, to see for her very first ultrasound. So they go to the doctor, they see the baby for the very first time. It's very emotional for the both of them, and it is what it is. Brandon now wants to tell his parents about her pregnancy, and Julia says no. I don't want to tell anybody until I'm out of the first trimester. And she's talking about the Russian superstitions, like you don't want to do anything baby related. You don't want to tell anybody about the baby until you're out of the first trimester, because they're walking past a baby boutique. And Brandon wanted to go in and look at the baby stuff. And Julia was like, no, in my country, we don't believe in, um, like, I don't know, doing anything for the baby until you're out of the first trimester, which is a very common way of thinking. A lot of people think this, like, don't get too excited or don't get too, um, like, and you're not safe until you're out of the first trimester. That's when you know that there's a higher chance of the pregnancy surviving. Okay, fine. So Brandon's like, okay, but I do want to tell my parents about it. And she's like, no, 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 no. I want to wait until the second trimester. He says, Julia, you're going to start showing soon. Okay. You're going to start showing soon. And it would be really bad if my parents figure it out before we tell them, because they're going to be pissed that we didn't tell them. And I don't want to get into any more trouble because my parents are already mad at us that we took off to Europe and I quit my job. So my relationship with them is already strained, and it's going to be even more strained if they knew that we didn't tell them that you were pregnant. And Julia is like, your mom is going to take over my pregnancy if we tell her. So I know that's going to happen. She's going to do it anyway. But Julia wants to hold off as long as possible until that happens. She wants to enjoy this pregnancy just between her and Brandon without her mother in law's intervention and her mother in law stepping in and becoming super duper bossy, telling her what to do, and so on and so forth. And to me, it's really understandable. And I think Brandon should listen to Julia because she's the one carrying this baby. You don't want to stress your wife out. Just let her enjoy these few weeks without your mom stepping in and completely commandeering the whole entire pregnancy. Let her enjoy this time alone, to enjoy her pregnancy with you. It's okay. Your parents will be fine. Even if they figure it out on their own, they'll be just fine. Okay? Because they're going to be grandparents. So the joy of having a grandbaby is going to overtake whatever feeling, whatever negative feelings they may have that y'all didn't tell them right away. Moving on to the Florida crew. Y'all, the Florida crew is really pissing me off because this is like the most immature nonsense I've ever seen in my life. And their whole entire storyline, all three of these couples, their whole entire storyline is just based on she said, he said. Okay, that's all it's based on. There's nothing else going on with these people other than that. And I guess Jovi saying that his wife used to be really ugly. Okay, so it starts off with Lauren and Alex. They're packing up their stuff because they are getting the hell out of New York. They've had enough of these people, and it's all because of the fact of them finding out that Elizabeth had told Yara that Lauren has been talking mad crap about her behind her back, talking about her clothes and how she thinks she's all that, and how Miami has gotten to her head. So Lauren is like, I've had enough. Let's get the hell out of here. But she doesn't want to leave until she talks to Yara first. So she goes to Yara's room, knocks on her door. Yara comes out. They have a conversation in the hallway. And Lauren tells Yara, look, we're leaving. I just want to tell you that I'm really sorry if anything was said or done on my part to make you feel bad. And Yara was like, girl, I'm not even tripping over that. It's all good. She gives her a hug, and that's how they end it. In her confessional, Yara says that she's beginning to think that Elizabeth is the problem. She's beginning to see through Elizabeth's shenanigans. And she's like, yeah, it's Elizabeth that's starting all of this strife in our friend group. Yeah, so I'm cool with Lauren, but Elizabeth is the one that I need to watch. Yara likes how Lauren took accountability, so she really did appreciate that. Lauren tells us that she and Elizabeth are now completely over. This was the last straw. She believes that Elizabeth was lying on her when Elizabeth told Yara that Lauren's been talking. This is so freak. It's not even high school, y'all. It is not even high school. This is so junior high, elementary. These are grown women, according to Yara. The other two are damn near 40. And they're acting like 12-year-olds. All of this, oh, she said this about you and she said that about you. It's so stupid. I cannot believe that we're dedicating an entire season to these people and all they can give us is a whole bunch of he said, she said. So we have two remaining couples left in New York. Lauren, no, excuse me, Yara and Jovi, Elizabeth and what's his name? Andre. So they're on their way to go find Sasquatch, which to me, like, why do I want to go look for something that doesn't even exist? Like, what are we doing? There's nothing else for these people to. Okay, let me take it back. So Elizabeth and Andre, they ask when once everybody's on the Sprinter bus, they ask Jovi and Yara, "Hey, are we going to be waiting for Lauren and Alex?" And Jovi's like, "Yeah, they left." And so Lauren is like, not Lauren, Elizabeth's like, what do you mean they left? What happened? And Jovi says, oh yeah, because Yara found out what you said. Now, what am I talking about? Lauren found out what you had said. You had told Yara that Lauren was talking crap about her. So Yara found out, Lauren found whatever, however it went. And so Elizabeth is she's mad at Jovi. She's like, oh, I can't believe Jovi would tell Lauren what I said. Well, she was going to see it anyway on TV. They were going to air because there was a big old camera crew with you in the bathroom when you told Yara that Lauren was talking about her. What do you think they were there for? They were there to record and then to air out this particular scene. It's going to be put on TV. So why are you mad at Jovi? So Elizabeth, I can't believe Jovi's such a troublemaker, and Jovi's on thin ice with me. Ooh, I'm pretty sure Jovi's so scared because he's on thin ice with you. The whole thing is stupid. I don't even care to go on about that and them looking for Sasquatch and all this silly nonsense. But that's my review, y'all. Nothing really happened except Jasmine having a baby and Brandon and Julia getting pregnant. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later.